Picture this. It's just an ordinary Tuesday morning. You step outside, the sun is shining, cars are zooming past on their morning commute, kids are walking to school, everything is exactly as it should be. The world feels completely solid, right? Safe, grounded. But then, boom! An ordinary morning abruptly interrupted. The impossible happens. The absolute, fundamental rule of our universe completely vanishes. Gravity is just gone. And we're not talking about a slow, cinematic fade-out here. It disappears for just 5 terrifying seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it.
So what if gravity disappeared for just 5 seconds? Could this actually happen, and what exactly would we lose in that incredibly short, suspenseful window of time? I mean, 5 seconds sounds like literally nothing, right? It's the time it takes to take a deep breath. But in physics, 5 seconds without our planetary anchor is enough to completely rewrite the surface of the Earth.
Section 1. The invisible force. Before we look at the absolute chaos of those 5 seconds, we need to understand what gravity actually is.
9.8 meters per second squared. That exact number is the magic glue holding our entire reality together. It's Earth's gravity. It dictates how absolutely everything, from the massive crushing weight of the oceans down to the tiny grains of sand on the beach, stays firmly planted on the ground. It's literally an invisible leash extending hundreds of thousands of miles into space just to keep the moon perfectly in its orbit.
Look at Earth with gravity versus Earth without gravity. The immediate stakes are absolutely astronomical. With gravity, our atmosphere, the very air we breathe, is tightly hugged to the planet, acting as this cozy protective blanket. But without gravity, that life-saving air has nothing holding it back. It would instantly start violently expanding and drifting off into the cold, dead vacuum of space.
And here is where it gets crazy. It's all because of inertia, the tendency of objects in motion to stay in motion. This is exactly why things wouldn't just gently float around like astronauts on the space station. Remember, the Earth is spinning rapidly, so when gravity suddenly turns off, inertia takes over. Everything not bolted deep into the bedrock will aggressively keep moving in a straight line, while the curved Earth just continues to spin right out from under it.
Section 2. 5 seconds of chaos. Let's break this catastrophe down. We're going to track this timeline second by terrifying second, so brace yourselves. Second 1. You feel an instant dizzying weightlessness, and your feet actually leave the pavement. Second 2. Well, it's no longer just you. Every single loose object around you, bicycles, trash cans, park benches, the literal dirt on the ground, violently lifts off. Inertia takes over, and the world begins to literally tear itself apart as everything hurtles off the spinning surface. Hitting second 3, you gotta wonder, but what happens to the airplanes? Or the cars? Imagine you're cruising down the highway. Suddenly, your tires lose absolutely all friction. The car lifts, tumbling uncontrollably into the air. And up in the sky, without gravity, the delicate balance of aerodynamics is just shattered. The atmosphere is rapidly expanding outward, creating these violent wind shears. Planes lose their stability entirely, pitching and rolling completely out of control in a suddenly frictionless sky. By second 4, the scene becomes borderline apocalyptic. The oceans lift from the Earth. Think about the billions and billions of gallons of water in the Pacific and the Atlantic. Without gravity pulling them down, the water literally detaches from the surface. It forms these massive, jagged mountains of floating water, roaring up into the sky. It's this dramatic, terrifying display of nature completely losing its bounds. And then we reach second 5, the final second of weightlessness. A dead, heavy silence falls over everything. It's the final moment of floating. People, cars, chunks of buildings, and immense walls of ocean water are hovering, completely suspended in midair. For one tiny, bizarre fraction of a second, there's this weird tranquility. But it's just the deep breath before the devastating reality check. Section 3. The catastrophic return. The clock runs out. And then, the invisible tether snaps back. Gravity violently returns. Instantly, the Earth grabs hold of absolutely everything that floated up and pulls it directly, mercilessly, right back down to the surface. Buildings shaking, cars crashing, airplanes struggling, people falling. This is where the true destruction happens, guys. The sheer force of 9.8 meters per second squared reasserts itself. Everything that rose into the air now plummets. Cars smash back into the highways, crumbling on impact. Those massive walls of floating ocean water, they collapse, creating localized tsunamis that absolutely crush the coastlines. Buildings that just had their foundations rattled now shake violently. As the whole world slams back down, it's absolute chaos everywhere.
Section 4. Surviving the Aftermath.
Looking at the wreckage, you have to ask, would Earth's orbit change? Surprisingly, the answer brings a tiny sliver of hope. Just 5 seconds of this wouldn't send Earth flying out of its orbit instantly. The sheer mass of the Sun and the Earth's own momentum means our planet would stay largely on its path around the solar system. We wouldn't freeze to death in deep space, thank goodness. But local effects on the surface? Still completely devastating.
And the damage isn't just on the ground. Satellites are thrown into disarray. Up in space, our communication and GPS satellites rely on constant, highly predictable gravity to maintain their delicate orbital paths. A 5-second pause would cause them to drift wildly, leading to massive, instant disruptions in global communications, navigation, and technology. This brief, violent interruption reaches all the way to the very edge of space.
Section 5. The Science of Gravity. To ground this explainer back in reality, could this actually happen?
Could somebody, somewhere, flip a switch and turn gravity off? Well, rest easy. It is almost impossible according to modern science. Gravity isn't some mechanical force that can run out of batteries or be blocked by a giant sci-fi shield. It's a fundamental property of matter itself.
To really understand why, we have to look to Einstein's understanding of the universe. Einstein proved that gravity isn't just some mysterious pulling rope, it is physically woven into the very fabric of space and time. Imagine placing a heavy bowling ball on a trampoline. It creates a deep dip, right? That dip is what pulls smaller objects toward it. As long as the Earth has mass, it creates that massive dip in space-time. You literally cannot turn it off without entirely erasing the mass of the Earth itself.
Invisible, silent, essential. It really brings us to a humbling realization, doesn't it? We rarely ever think about gravity as we go about our daily lives. We totally take for granted the fact that our morning coffee stays in its cup and that the air we breathe stays safely wrapped around our planet. Yet every single second of our lives, every single interaction we have with the physical world depends entirely on it.
I want to leave you with this powerful thought. Maybe the greatest superpower on Earth isn't something we can see. It's something that's been protecting us all along. Gravity is our ultimate guardian. It's the invisible architect of our reality, holding the oceans back, keeping the moon exactly where it belongs, and giving us a foundation to actually build our lives upon. So, I'll leave you with this final provocative question. What other invisible forces are shaping our universe right now, without us even realizing it? If you enjoyed this wild journey into the impossible, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more explainers. We're going to keep breaking down the biggest, most mind-bending questions in the universe, one slide at a time. I'll catch you guys in the next one.